Where reports that the federal government has concluded arrangement to float the first ever domestic FGN $500 million bond in the country to help boost external reserves and provide the infrastructure that's needed to enhance and stabilize the economy. This is coming as mixed reactions by experts and analysts have trailed the flotation of the bond. The Finance Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, who disclosed this during the roadshow for the domestic FGN US dollar bond in Rivers in Lagos State on Thursday, said that the bond, all things being equal, would open next Monday, and it is expected that Nigerians aboard should use the opportunity to invest in this country to support the government in providing the needed infrastructure for the growth and development of the economy. Reacting to this, we had an expert, David Andori, is an analyst and executive vice chairman of High-Cap Securities. The FGN, he said that the FGN has been mooting the idea of issuing domestic dollar denominated bond as investment outlet for dollars in domiciliary accounts. And in his words, I don't know if this issuance is based on the above, but FGN can also raise dollars through euro bonds, wherein the international investing public can subscribe, notwithstanding the method that is adopted. The borrowing will be an external debt obligation because it requires foreign currency to redeem. And considering the precarious debt situation and dwindling crude oil revenue, further foreign debt by the FGN sinks the economy deeper into its current debt trap. And however, the compulsion to take the new debt may be unavoidable because without a new debt, existing obligations may become delinquent. And secondly, store of hard currency may also dry up. Now, in the short term, the new debt can rescue the economy, but it postpones the evil day when the roof may collapse under the weight of excessive public debt. Also commenting, we had another view, but let's look at the very first view now, the debt and the borrowing nature in Nigeria, where it brought us from and where we are today and what we see the future holding for us regarding the state of our economy. Dema?
Well, this touches my heart so much, first as an economist, and an article I wrote titled "The Disease of Borrowing." Borrowing, all nations of the world, one form they're involved in taking loans. The United States of America, if you look at their foreign loan, what they are owing China, a lot of money. But you borrow to invest in critical infrastructure to strengthen and stimulate your economy, right? You don't borrow to spend on unnecessary things that are not priority, that will not help your economy. Or you don't borrow to lavish, or you don't borrow for and then we steal or loot or steal what you are even borrowing. So we shouldn't be suffering from what is called the borrowing disease, but we are suffering from the borrowing disease, right? The borrowing disease has affected us to the point that we practically borrow for everything. We just want to borrow, right? It's a disease. That is an indictment, or that's a fallout of bad leadership, right? We keep talking about it because it is human beings that manage an economy. When people talk about the economy, I don't know, some of them picture it like it's just a building somewhere. The economy is being managed by human beings. So if you have the wrong person, or if you have people who are not good in managing the economy, or the wrong people managing the economy, running the economy, you will continue to have the wrong result, as we're having now. Like we are suffering from the borrowing disease. We've heard so much about the euro bond, borrowing, debt. The question is, we are not managing our resources judiciously. We are not prudent with the resources we have. We are not following the fiscal. We are not fiscally responsible, or we are not following those fiscal laws. Those laws that will help to ensure that there is effective management of our resources. We cannot continue to live the way we are doing. We are suffocating. Our economy is suffocating. Imagine a patient that is sick, that is taken to the hospital, that is in in need of oxygen to survive. That is a picture of the state of the Nigerian economy. It has been suffocated for too long.
And you think borrowing is the cause of that?
Mismanagement of loans. Look at our foreign debt. Look at our domestic debt. You will be shocked. And look at the states in the country. Most of them, if you look at their debts, I'm talking about foreign debt in millions of dollars. You begin to ask yourself, what's going on? What's happening? Most of these are political leaders are so reckless because they borrow so much that they're not accountable for it. So we are not managing our foreign loans very well. It is affecting every aspect of our country. Now we're talking about dwindling oil revenue. We used to have what we call the excess crude accounts. The money in the excess crude account is more like a defensive mechanism for the rainy days. Look at countries like Saudi Arabia, that is an oil-producing country. Look at their excess crude accounts. Look at other countries in the world, even African countries that are oil-producing. And look at Nigeria excess crude accounts. And you begin to ask yourself, what is happening? What is really wrong? It is the borrowing disease, the disease of borrowing.
Okay, let's hear you now.
I think what the federal government is trying to do at this point could be likened to someone digging a hole to cover a hole. Why I say so, you don't borrow to fund critical infrastructures and also run government. You borrow to do business that revolves around cash that gives you turnover, so that from what you get, you can actually pay the interest and service the loan. You don't borrow to feed.
Are we borrowing to feed?
It's likened to it at this point. What we're doing now is something that is counterproductive. It's something that has a boomeranging effect on the economy at the long run, not even long run, not too long from now. If you look at it, now these bonds that they are calling for, they issue you a bond, they collect your money. What are they doing with that money? Are they using it for this? What are they using it for? Infrastructural development. And what benefit will that infrastructure give to us at that point or at the long run? You don't borrow that you want to build a road. And after building the road, what next? Do people pay for toll to pass that road? No. These are critical infrastructure. You borrow for business purpose, and you borrow for viable businesses that will yield income. Then from there, you service your loan. So what the government is doing at this point is just trying to suffocate it. You look at this, the man mentioned about the excess crude account. We all know what happened during the tenure of Jonathan, where the governors then forced Jonathan to deplete that excess crude account. And Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala today has been vindicated because she stood her ground that that fund shouldn't be touched. It should be saved for a rainy day, but they all refused. And at the long run, Jonathan was forced to share that fund to state governments. And most of them went on white elephant projects. Some went on Jamboree, and that amount of money was squandered. And today, Nigeria is suffering because of one critical mistake. So if you look at it from the economic point of view, for me as a person who read economics, as a socio-political analyst, this will still go the other way of other loans.
Do you think where we are as a country, we do not need to borrow anymore? The state of the economy, the time when we started all of this borrowing, all the times when we were taking, funds from other countries, and the state of the economy now, what exactly is the difference? Have we gotten to that point where we have gone beyond or above borrowing?
For me, our problem, it's not just borrowing. Our problem, first, we must increase and expand our productive base. Go back to agriculture. Look at the oil, which is supposed to be our single source of income. What happens to it? Ordinarily, from a refining process, you have between 11 to 15 products when you are refining. But now they get this oil, sell it at international price. We import those products and still buy at international price. If these things are refined locally here, put our refineries in proper shape, allow public-private participation for refineries. Even this Nigerian businessman that has a refinery in Lagos, which I don't want to mention his name, so I don't give him free advert. They shouldn't also choke it. They also have people establish modular refineries. Once we do that, our productive base will expand.
Which we all know, but what do you think is the challenge with doing that?
These are government policies, 1. Mismanagement, 2. Then 3, which is, I think is the one that is even hydra-headed, where people put their personal interest far above public interest.
When you say people now, who exactly are you referring to?
The masses. The masses are referred to the public. So they take certain steps and decisions that favors just them and their cronies, and not the bigger picture of favoring Nigeria and Nigerians.
So you think that is why we still haven't gotten our refineries functional?
Of course.
now?
Of course.